Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so for decades, Russia has been totally locked into the conventional banking system. But right now, quietly and right under our noses, an entirely different financial architecture is taking root. You're probably wondering, how exactly is Russia bypassing those traditional financial frameworks? Well, to figure that out, we actually have to look away from the conventional banks we're all used to and dive into a pretty powerful alternative system. So let's get right into part one. The Sharia finance alternative. The whole foundation of this system actually revolves around just one word: riba. Riba basically means interest. Now, in the banking you and I know, interest is the engine, right? It drives everything. But under Sharia principles, riba is strictly avoided. You literally cannot make money just by lending money. So, that begs the big question: how on earth does a bank actually profit? Well, here's the difference. Conventional banking relies on interest-based loans. Islamic banking, however, is all about partnership and profit sharing. It's asset-backed. The bank doesn't just hand you a loan and walk away. They effectively partner with you. They share in both the risks and the rewards of an asset. It's a completely different mindset. Which brings us to Section 2, 1,000-year history. You might not know this, but Russia actually has one of the largest Muslim populations in all of Europe, and Islam has been present in these lands for over a millennium. Now, during the Soviet era, religious activities were heavily restricted. But when the USSR collapsed in 1991, it sparked this massive cultural and religious revival. And with that revival came a huge renewed demand for Islamic finance.
All right, let's move to Section 3. Sanctions spark a pivot.
Now, it wasn't an overnight success. Early experiments really struggled. Like, Badr Fort Bank was founded back in the 90s, but it ended up losing its license by 2006. The main issue? Well, Islamic banking often requires buying and reselling physical assets. Under Russia's old conventional laws, doing that accidentally triggered double taxation. It was a logistical nightmare. But then, fast forward to 2014. Western sanctions hit hard. Suddenly, Russia urgently needed to diversify its entire economy and find completely new global partners. And that massive strategic pivot, it found its absolute center in Kazan, Tatarstan. This region basically overnight became the ultimate hub. It started hosting major international economic forums, pulling in crucial partnerships, and, most importantly, investments from places like the UAE, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey. Because of all this momentum, real, tangible products are finally hitting the market. We're seeing things like interest-free home financing, Islamic leasing models, halal investment funds, and sukuk, which are essentially Islamic bonds. Guys, this is no longer just theory on a whiteboard. It's practically rolling out to consumers right now. Let's look at where we are today in Section 4, the 2023 banking experiment. In 2023, Russia made a huge move and officially launched a pilot program to completely bypass those old restrictive banking laws. Right now, this experiment is running in 4 specific Muslim-majority regions: Tatarstan, Bashkortostan, Chechnya, and Dagestan. For the very first time, financial institutions there can operate under special legal frameworks perfectly designed for Sharia compliance. So what's the endgame here? What do lawmakers actually want out of this? Well, they have 3 clear goals. Number 1, aggressively increase investment from Muslim countries. Number 2, expand their overall trade with the Middle East. And number 3, provide genuine, fully compliant alternative services for Russia's massive Muslim population. To put it into perspective, if you compare it to massive financial giants like Malaysia or the UAE, this industry in Russia is still pretty small. But the strategic potential, it's literally immense. Reaching that potential, though, completely relies on a few major things: executing further legal reforms, locking down those international partnerships, building real public trust, and, of course, maintaining broad economic stability. It really all comes down to this. From the fall of the Soviet Union to modern financial reforms, the story of Islamic banking in Russia reflects the changing relationship between faith, economics, and global politics. I mean, what started as this tiny experiment decades ago is now a central piece of a major geopolitical strategy. But the real question I want to leave you with is this: will this pivot completely redefine the future of global finance, or is it just a temporary geopolitical workaround? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.
يمحق الله الربا ويربي الصدقات والله لا يحب كل كفار أثيم.